Omagyanatimanasya Chanchalashlanakya Sakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Vastaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharini Nirvishesha Srinyavadi Paskachai Desatarani. This morning we continue reading from the first canto, chapter 3, text 15. This will be the next in the list of incarnations mentioned in the third chapter of this first canto. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Rupam Sajagrihe Matsyam Sakshasudahi Samplave Nafyarupyamahi Mayam Apat Vashvatam Manam. Translation, word for word translation. Rupam, for, Saha, he, Shakrihe, accepted, Matsyam, of a fish, Saksusa, Udadi, water, Samplave, inundation, Navi, on the boat, Aropya, keeping on, Mahi, the earth, Mayam, drowned in, apart, protected, Vaishvavatam, Vaishvasvata, Manum, Manu, the father of man. When there was a complete inundation after the period of Saksusa, Manu, and the whole world was deep within water, the Lord accepted the form of a fish and protected Vaishvasvata Manu, keeping him on a boat. That purport. According to Shripad Sridhar Swami, the original commentator on the Bhagavatam, there is not always a devastation after the change of every Manu. And yet this inundation after the period of Saksusa Manu took place in order to show some wonders to Satyavrata. But Jiva Goswami is giving definite proofs from authoritative scriptures like Vishnu Dharmotara, Markandeya Purana, Arivamsa, etc., that there is always a devastation after the end of each and every Manu. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti has also supported Sri Jiva Goswami. And Sri Chakravarti has also quoted from Bhagavatamrita about this inundation after each Manu. Apart from this, the Lord, in order to show special favor to Satyavrata, a devotee of the Lord, in this particular period incarnated himself. I repeat the verse once again. Rupam Sajagrihe Matsyam Sakshasudahi Samplave Navi Aropya Mahi Mayam Apat Vaishvasvatam Manam. When there was a complete inundation after the period of the Saksusa Manu, and the whole world was deep within the water, the Lord accepted the form of a fish and protected Vaishvata Manu, keeping him on a boat. Om Ajnanatimandasya Chanjana Shanaka Sakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Chichitayano Vistam Staptam Yena Bhutaleshvam Rupakadhamayam Dadati Svapadantikam Vandayam Shiru Shiyuda Padakamanam Shigaram Vaishnavamsa Shirupam Jagajatam Shirupam Jagajatam Saganaranatam Pitam Tam Sajivan Sadvaitam Savdutam Parjana Saitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sakalita Shivishakam Pitamsa He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jatpate Gopesha Gopka Kanta Radha Kanta Namastate Tapta Kansna Gauri Radhe Vrindavanashri Vishvana Sutadevi Pranamama Hri Pancha Kalpta Visha Kripasan Previsha Patnam Pavat Panityo Vaishnavyo Namo Namo Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhaktavana Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vastaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Tinamani Namaste Saraswata Devi Gauravanya Pacharani Nirvashesha Srinivadi Paskachai Dezataram Srila Prabhupada Ki Nata. So here that in the Bible Srila Prabhupada points out that Sridhar Swami says between that at the end of every Manu there is not always a devastation that an inundation by water that but Shiva Goswami and Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, they say yes, there is always an inundation. So in a day of Brahma there are 14 manus, and in the change of manu in between there is the question is the point of discussion is here is there an inundation or not? What shows this? That as Shivas, even we get perfection by devotional service, we cannot know everything. That Jadvaita Maharaj asked Srila Prabhupada, but said it is does a pure devotee know everything? Because sometimes I see seemingly they make errors. That and Srila Prabhupada said everything a pure devotee does is perfect in their devotion. Of course, that's also not so easy to understand. That, but the Lord is omnipotent, and we can know Krishna to a certain extent. Krishna and his energies. That we can never know him fully. That, but here, this Matsya avatar is described. The fish incarnation of the Lord. That and that is this incarnation, the pastime of this incarnation, is narrated in the 8th canto of the Bhagavatam, chapter 24. It is said that at the end of the previous kalpa, that a demon, Hayagriva, wanted to take the Vedic knowledge away from Lord Brahma. He wanted to take that knowledge away at the time of annihilation. Therefore, it is said, the Lord, he took the incarnation of a fish at the beginning of the period of Swayambhava Manu and saved the Vedas. Swayambhuva Manu was the first Manu, and that the first human being that married to Satarupa. That's at the beginning of that period, this fish incarnation appeared. That it was after the period of Sakshusa Manu, they said. That, so this story starts with King Satyavrata. King Satyavrata, he was a great ruler. He was a great ruler, a pious ruler. That and to receive the favor of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he was engaging in austerity of subsisting only by drinking water. So while performing this austerity on the bank of the Kritamala river and offer obeisances of water to the river, that's suddenly in the palm of his hand he found a small fish. That's interesting, a small fish. We have seen in the pastime of Varahadev, he came out like a speck of dust out of his nostrils. Here we have Satyavrata, and suddenly he sees this tiny fish in his palms of his hand. And the fish appealed to the king. Fish was speaking, "Please protect me. Don't put me back in the river because there are these big fish, they will eat me." And so he asked the king, "Please keep me in a safe place." Of course, Satyavrata did not know that this little fish was the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And he gave him shelter. He kept him in a water jug. But the fish immediately expanded his body in such a way that he could not longer be kept in a jug of water. And the fish said, "This is not a comfortable place. I need a bigger place." And King Satyavrata, he put him in a well. But soon the well was also too small. And then he put the fish in a lake. But the lake proved also to be unsuitable. Finally, the king, he put the fish in the sea, but even the sea could not accommodate the fish. So at that time, King Satyavrata understood that the fish was the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And the fish the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the form of a fish informed Satyavrata that there would be an inundation through the universe, and that the fish, that he in the form of a fish would protect the king, along with the rishis, the herbs, the seeds, and other living entities. It would protect them in a boat which would be attached to the fish horns. So in due of time, this inundation took place. And suddenly the king saw a boat coming near. After getting aboard with learned Brahmins and saintly persons, he offered obeisances to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So the boat was connected with the horn of the fish. The Supreme Lord is situated in everyone's heart, and matcha, so it being situated in everyone's heart. It taught Maharaj Vrata and the saintly persons about Vedic knowledge from the case of their heart. So is by that the Vedas were saved. So you see here you have a picture of a small boat, but there are other pictures. This is a bigger boat.
You'll need to unlock your iPhone first.
A bigger boat so King Satyavrata, he took then his next birth as Vaishvatamanu. The Vaishvatamanu is mentioned in the Bhagavatam. Vivashvan Manavapahi, that's mentioned in the Bhagavatam. The sun god spoke the signs of God to his son Manu. Iman Vishvasvateyogam Bhaktavam Amavyam Vishvasve Manava Praha Manu Ikshvakave Bravit. This Manu, it's Vivashvan taught to Manu. So, because if being, because he was the son of Vivashvan, this Manu was known as Vaishvatamanu. So this is like a little summary of the pastime, which as narrated in the 8th canto, text chapter 24. So what lessons can we learn from it? First, there is the Lord's omnipotence, that we cannot limit the Lord. He has unlimited potence. He can do everything what he wants. That if he wants to appear as a fish, nobody can hold him. That is important for us, that we understand this omnipotence of the Lord. Otherwise, we take all the pastimes. We may take all the pastimes in the Bhagavatam as fiction. But these are stories, histories, which are narrated, that the Lord can do whatever he wants. So this is an important aspect. It's an aspect of faith. By faith, one advances in spiritual life. And the second point to learn is the Lord's protection. Satyavrata was a pious king, and the Lord reciprocated with him by saving him and saving the Vedas. So that's another aspect of faith, that be sure that the Lord will protect me. Like he says in Bhagavad Gita, Ananya Sintyantamam Yechna Paripaste Tesam Nitya Vyuktyam Yogaksam Vamyam. So I give everything my devotee needs, and that I protect what he has. So in the purport, Srila Prabhupada refers that mostly on the spiritual platform, Krishna gives us opportunity for service, that he gives us what we need and what we need for the service, that he provides that. And at the same time, that he protects our spiritual advancement. We will never lose it, even if we go to the next body. So Does the Lord's protection have faith that because the Supreme Lord is omnipotent, is all-pervading, that by that our protection on the path of going back to God is assured, as long as we remain sincere and faithful. The third point is knowledge to the heart. Matsya gives this Vedic knowledge to the heart of King Satyavrata and the sages, but Krishna gives also knowledge to us if we advance in devotional service. That, or better to say, this makes us really advance in devotional service. It's by the knowledge he gives to the heart, and that refers to Vijnan, realized knowledge, not ordinary knowledge. That the knowledge must be realized. That then the fourth point is, I would say we can learn is that following the Lord's instructions. Satyavrata was following the Lord's instructions. That so you get the knowledge, but then you have to follow. That it's not that but we know Bhagavad Gita. That sometimes I speak with people from Indian background, and I ask, do you know Bhagavad Gita? And they say, yeah, we know Bhagavad Gita, sure. But then when I'm asking what does Krishna say in Bhagavad Gita, they don't know. That they don't know very much. That therefore, the knowledge to the heart, like received by King Satyavrata, that you receive knowledge to the heart when the Lord is pleased. That and that's important. That's I'm just preparing for the Bhaktivedanta course, and I'm going to the teachings of Prahlad Maharaj. And he says to his schoolmates, yes, if you simply put your faith in my words, you will be able to understand this knowledge. Yasya Deva Para Bhaktir, this is verse that says, yes, everyone was implicit faith in the instructions of the spiritual master, then all the imports of the Vedas are revealed from within the heart. That so that faith is important. That makes us advance. That because Prahlad Maharaj makes also another point. Many points, but he says, yes, that he explains how we can know the Supreme Lord. That and what it means to know the Supreme Lord. In 4.9 of Bhagavad Gita, it said, Janma karma samedevyam yomevete tattvata jaktyam punama janma naitamamiti sarana. So one who knows my transcendental appearance, my pastimes and activities, does not take birth in this world. But what does it know, Krishna? What does it know? What does it mean to know Krishna? Prahlad Maharaj gives a whole list and said, knowing Krishna means that the Supreme Lord is all-pervading, that is a super soul in every in one's heart, that the super soul is present everywhere. That and then he goes on explaining that yes, it means also knowing the Supreme Person, then and that the super soul is an expansion from him. But to know that all this, one can only attain when the Lord is pleased. And the Lord is pleased by devotional service, by pleasing the spiritual master, the representative of Krishna. And then all this knowledge is revealed. And like these pastimes of Matsya Avatar, gives a deeper insight about the Lord, how he protects his devotee, Satyavata Muni, that and his unlimited potency, how he protects his devotees, and how he gives knowledge to the heart. So this is important knowledge. It's through devotional service that one gets these realizations, pleasing the spiritual master. So 4 things, lessons to be learned: understanding the Lord's omnipotence, the Lord's protection, that knowledge is given to the heart when the Lord is pleased with us, and importance of always following the instructions of Bhagavad Gita. Of course, that implies that we know the instructions and hear them regularly. So this is about, I think, the 10th incarnation, that Matsya Avatar. And tomorrow we will speak about the 11th incarnation, Kurma Avatar, the tortoise incarnation. Is there any question?
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you for your class. I wanted to ask, you speak about faith being one of the reasons how one can progress in spiritual life. Is there any other reasons apart from faith that will help one to progress in their spiritual life?
Yes, sure. That's explained in many places, like in Nectar of Instruction. Krishna, in the purport there of verse 5, I think, Srila Prabhupada mentions 3 levels of devotees, and he stresses the importance, the difference is between the levels has 2 aspects, that's knowledge and faith, and they are connected with each other. The more knowledge about Krishna you have, the more faith you will develop. That therefore it is said the Prakriti Bhakta of the Kanishta Dikar on the lowest platform, he has practically no knowledge. He cannot convince anyone. And his faith is very poor. He may fall away of devotional service. And the second level, the next level, is the Madhyamadikar. He has great faith and he has a lot of knowledge, but not perfect. He cannot convince everyone. But he has great faith. And the Uttamadikar has great faith and great knowledge. So they are going together. But this is also going together with detachment from matter and attachment to Krishna. The Kanishta with Adhikar has not much attachment to Krishna, it's more attached to matter. And the Madhyamadhikar is in the way of developing great attachment to Krishna. There's still some attachment that subtle, but the Uttamadhikar is completely attached to Krishna and no attachment to this world anymore. Yeah. So we learned Jnaniyata Suvarahyam that in the second chapter we learned that knowledge and detachment are a result of performing devotional service. So that will develop when the devotional service is a process of cultivating attachment to Krishna. When one becomes attached to Krishna, the attachment from matter is there. Of course, in that process, there is also another element and that's experience. If you hear the Bhagavatam for many years in the Bhagavad Gita, then you realize that yes, it's true what is said there, and this attachment to things in this world, this endeavor for sense enjoyment brings me only misery. And like when devotee comes to the conclusion that I'm sick of this disturbance of these senses. And that's great realization that I want something better. So that's one experience. The other experience is the satisfaction you feel by performing devotional service. And then it becomes factual experience. It's not theoretical anymore. And that gives you faith. You say, you understand, I'm not yet there, but I progressed. And it's going better. So if I continue, it will further progress. And it gives faith that so we have all gone to so many experiences in our life, and we see that Krishna protected us sometimes. That gives faith. So these are different elements: attachment, knowledge. Experience and faith. They are all aspects which are important. Does that help, Vajradulan?
Yeah, thank you so much, Maharaj.
Yeah. Something else? Good, thank you. Then tomorrow we will continue with Kurma Avatar. Thank you. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Bo.